The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. It's more than just an important-sounding list, though. The Bill of Rights exists to protect Americans' way of life. Let's take a look. The First Amendment protects political and religious freedom with the rights to speech, press, assembly, petition, and religion. These freedoms preserve democracy. Citizens can share honest or even negative opinions about government without fear of punishment. The press can publish ideas and opinions, so the government isn't the only source of information. The right of assembly allows people to meet in groups to protest laws they think are unfair. Protest is an important way people can demand change from the government. The right to petition allows people to contact government about concerns and request changes. This amendment is the foundation for all rights. When people can speak up without fear, they can demand and use their rights. The Second Amendment protects the right to bear arms. It allows people to own guns and other weapons. They do this for 3 reasons. One is hunting, whether for food or for sport. Another is to give police officers and soldiers a way to protect. Finally, citizens are allowed to own guns to protect themselves as well. When the Constitution was written, it was common to own guns. They used their own weapons in the fight for independence. Many people believe this right is a way to protect people from government abuse of power. The Third Amendment also reflects colonial events, preventing the quartering of troops. Great Britain sent soldiers to the colonies, forcing families to provide for them. The colonists felt angry and threatened, and decided that Americans should not be expected to do this. The Fourth Amendment protects people from unlawful searches and seizures, or being stopped by the police without reason. Officials are not allowed to take people's things without a warrant. Judges will only issue warrants if there's reason to believe evidence of a crime will be found. If police witness a crime in progress, however, they don't need a warrant to search and take evidence. The Fifth Amendment has several parts, just like the first. It says people who are accused of crimes do not have to testify in court or take the stand because they cannot be expected to give evidence against themselves. Their accusers must prove guilt. So when you hear people in court say, "I plead the Fifth," it means that answering the question would violate their right against self-incrimination. The amendment also prevents double jeopardy or holding a trial for the same crime twice. It protects people from made-up evidence. It also prevents evidence from turning up years later and leading to a new trial. This amendment also prevents taking away someone's natural rights without the full legal process. It also protects property, noting that government cannot take people's property for public use without paying them for it. The Sixth Amendment protects a person's right to speedy and public jury trial. It also gives them the right to legal counsel or help from a lawyer. It says people can't be held in jail without a trial. Without these rights, a person arrested and taken to jail might never see a judge, talk to family, or a lawyer, even if they had not broken a law. The Seventh Amendment protects people's rights to have a jury decide a civil or criminal case instead of a judge. A civil case is when 2 citizens or groups are having a dispute. One side usually wants compensation from the other for a wrong. The Eighth Amendment prevents cruel or unusual punishment for crimes. People do not have to worry about, for example, going to jail for 20 years for stealing a candy bar. Keep in mind, though, that this amendment protects people from government. You cannot use it as defense against your parents when grounded for not doing your chores. The Ninth Amendment protects unenumerated rights. Those are rights that are not directly listed in the Constitution or Bill of Rights. This is a fancy way of saying that just because a right is not listed, it does not mean people don't have it. For example, if there's not a law banning shaving your eyebrows, then you're safe to assume you have that right. This amendment exists because the writers knew they could not possibly list every right people could have. The courts interpret what rights are and are not protected. For example, Americans have economic freedom. This means they have the right to form businesses, choose how to make a living, and spend their earnings. The 10th Amendment helps balance power between the state and federal governments. It says that the federal government only has the powers listed in the Constitution. Unlisted powers are left to the states. For example, the Constitution doesn't specify an education system, so each state creates schools by their own laws. The Bill of Rights, 10 amendments protecting America's freedom since 1791.